What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video. In today's video, man, I want to go over the mods for Armor Reforger that I'm using. So I'm currently playing on the mods for the server called um, Rapid Assault Warfare, and this server has access to a bunch of different cool aircraft and vehicles that we're going to be talking and going over the next couple of days and weeks. I've been on the server for about a week now, and been enjoying it a lot. There's some things that I don't like, but we're going over the mods, and I think these are just some cool mods they have in here that I think is a great idea to go over, just so you guys can kind of get an idea what you guys are going to be seeing in the gameplays going forward. So first off, we're going to go over some of the vehicles for the America team. For this, we're actually going to go into Game Master because it's easier to show you guys the names of these vehicles. So we have, to start off here with, we have the Cougar H MRAP, we have the Cougar H MRAP OGBK, we have just another standard Cougar MRAP. We have the MGK again. I guess I doubled these by accident. Then we have the ANTWQ1 light air defense vehicles. We have three of these, different colors. Then we have a standard MRAP, which is a JLTV unarmored. Now, I've been calling these MRAPs. These can be called MRAPs, but these also could be called JLTVs, depending on who you're asking. We have two new Humvees to go look at. We have the M1025 light armored vehicle, which is the Ion Technologies, I believe it's called, or Ion Services, which is like a private military. And we have the 50 cal one, and we have the Un-50. So other MRAPs we have the MRAP Crows 2, the Crows 2 with the FGM 148 on top, the Crows 2 standard, the unarmed, the OGBK JLTV. We have the JLTV Crows M134, the JLTV Crows M2HB, and the Crows 1 M134. Those are all the MRAPs we have in the game. We also have two Bradleys. I believe there's actually a third Bradley, but I'm not sure. When I put these down, I didn't see it, but I believe in game you can find the tandem Bradley. But we have the standard Bradley, and we have the camo Bradley. For Abrams, we have two standard M1A1, M1A2s, and then we have the M1A2 Tusks. We have two of these. So, not sure how much of a difference these will make in game. These Tusks do seem to be the better Bradleys now, or the better Abrams now. So we'll have to wait and see. Some other land vehicles in the game are you have some of these, which is AA guns. These seem to not be functional quite yet. They still seem to be in the works, so keep that in mind. For the Russian team, we'll go over their vehicles. They have all the same MRAPs that we have on the American team, so I'm not going to go over them again. They're just in the dark gray. We have the ZSU 23-4 Shilika, or Shinika, how we pronounce it. We have two of those. We have T-72B main battle tanks. We have two of those, and then we have two standard T-72s, or two standard, and then we have also, it looks like we have IA as well. Even though you don't see the IA in some versions of these tanks in the game, but the modded versions are in the files. So we technically have three different types of T-72s. We also have a Terminator, which is more of a futuristic tank. I don't really think this is in-game. I think this is another one of the ones that are in the mods, but they're actually not usable. And then we have the same Cougars as we did for the American team. Some other land vehicles that they have. Again, over here we have the AA gun as well, but again, not working. And that seems to be most of the modded land vehicles that we have, at least the vehicles that are on the ground. Again, we have, as you can see, tons of helicopters that go through as well. So, let's go over all the helis. Now, some of these Chinooks that I have spawned in are not available yet in-game. These are some of the ones I was messing around with in the files because the server has all these mods that you can download, but not all of the vehicles in the mods. Like, we even have T-14 Armadas, which is the new Russian tank, and a lot of Russian LAV vehicles, but they are not usable. So we're going to start off over here. So we have the AH-64 with the M261 and the LAU 117. We have an Apache with just the LAU 117. We have a MH-60 Blackhawk with the missiles and miniguns. This is going to be the attack Blackhawk, which is the FFAR. So with the game save, there it goes. And then we have a unarmed Black Hawk for troop transport. We have a supply Black Hawk, Medivac Black Hawk. We have the M134 times 2 Black Hawk, which is just going to have 2 miniguns. Then we have the SAR, or the SOAR 62 Black Hawk. This is going to be the most famous one that you're going to see in real, like you would see in real life, with the giant, needle at the front of it. This is very the more popular, the more well-known looking one. We also have the NH90. I'm not sure what team these are for. These are not available in game in the server, but they are in the files. We also have another one that's not in the files, but it's available in the, or is not available in the game, but it's in the files, and that's the CH53E, which is a pretty cool heli. And then the standard Chinook that we have in game is the MH47G Chinook. But you can see here we have tons of Chinooks. I think there's like 10 or 15 different types of Chinooks that are in the files ready to be used at any given point. I think probably the coolest one here is probably this matte, like dark gray camo, the United States Army Chinook. I think this looks great. But again, not available quite yet. Some other helicopters we have is the Apache with the M299. We have the Apache with the M261 plus the M299. And we have the Apache with the M261. The Apaches are super fun. You will need a gunner for them, though. The Little Birds, we have the Little Bird M134 plus the M260 plus an AIM-92. We have a Little Bird with the M134 plus the AIM-92, the M134 plus M260 plus M299, the M134 plus the M299, the M134 plus the GAU-19 plus the M260. We have an M134 plus M260, and we have the M260. And then we have a standard troop transport Little Bird. I am missing one Little Bird from this section. There is a Little Bird that has just flares available. It's like it just has like rocket pods, but they're just flares. I'm assuming it's good for nighttime, but yeah, that otherwise that's all the American aircraft. They have two different USSR IL-76 planes, but do note that these both do not work in game. They're just purely for visuals. For the Russian aircraft, we're going to start down here. So we have the Mi-8, I'm sorry, not the Mi-8, the Mi-24B or P, armed with the 9M114s. We have the armed with the R60s. We have one armed with the S5, and then we have one armed with the S8, and then armed with the 9M114, armed with the UPK-23, armed with the FAB-250, and then armed, not armed, but it's for supplies only. So you see it has no rocket pods. Now, I'm going to be going into greater details with each category of vehicle, so MRAPs, different types, each category of helicopters, each category of tanks, etc. I'm going to be going into great detail with them as we go forward, so expect to see more and more videos with these. Next, we have the MI8 EMMT Armed Up K23. We have the MI8 Armored Rockets, armed with the FAB 250s, armed with the HEDPs, armed with HE. Then we have the transport version, and we have the armed transport version. This has, I think, the turrets in the front and the back. And then we have one singular Mi-8 supply helo. Now, I'm actually a huge fan of these Hinds. These Hinds are super fun to fly. They're kind of like the American team, but like the Apaches, they're similar to that. But you'll see that the Russian team does have their own Apaches. And for the Little Birds, they're all the exact same. They're all going to have the same weapons, same stuff. The only difference is these are blue, not black. The Russian team also has two Ka-52s, one with 9M120, and then the one with just a standard Ka-52. For some reason, I've been calling these crocodiles. I don't know why. I could have sworn I heard their name as crocodiles, but I did look it up, and they're not crocodiles. They're Ka-52s. I don't know why inside my brain I was thinking they're crocodiles. Then the Russians do have two Apache equivalencies, so they're not as good as the Apaches, but they are the Russia's attempt at an Apache, that design. And you'll notice that design by the propellers on the top with the tail rotor with the needle nose front. That's kind of what I mean by that. And so they have the Mi-28N with the BV-20As, and then we have another one as well, the same weapons as well. So again, you can see if we pull this one, and then we put the Apache right next to it, you can see what they're kind of going for the same thing, you know. Now that was not a plan, but you know what I mean. They're going for the kind of the same thing, that needle nose front, tail, engines on the side, rockets on the wings, that type of design. Um, but the Americans go for a little bit less propellers. The Russians liked a lot of propellers for some reason. Like all their aircraft have a shit ton of propellers. Then there is this Chinook. This Chinook is in game, as I believe is labeled as a Russian Chinook, which makes no sense because the Russians don't have Chinooks. They have Heinz, and they have like these helicopters, like these ones and those ones back there. So it's very strange that they have them, but they do. So keep that in mind. But that is again not in the game yet. But that are all the model weapons that we know of so far. I'm going to show you some of the ones I can't spawn because if I spawn them, they crash the game. So let me pull up Soviet. So you see all the standard vehicles we have access to. If we go a little further, you guys will see the vehicles that I'm talking about. And those vehicles consist of these right here. So we have the T-14 Armada, and then the T-14 Armada camoed. We have the 4386 Typhoons, and we have armed, and we have different types of guns on different types of Typhoons. They're basically going to have the same amount of Tycoons, I believe, as they do JLTVs, because they're basically the same thing, or their equivalency. Then we also have K-17s as well as VPKs. These are different types of amphibious land vehicles, kind of similar to the American LAV. And you'll see those once once these mods are fully fixed. Because right now, if you spawn any of these three vehicles that I named, so any of these on this page or the T-14s, you will just crash. So really not great right now for that. Some other things that are just new. There's tons and tons of weapons. If we go over here to the arsenal, I can't show weapons because the arsenal for right now is kind of broken. I can't get the weapons to appear in the arsenal. But I will be showcasing them in some form, either on the actual R.A.W servers. I'll have to go into a server when it's dead and show it. But I can show you the infantry gear, and you can see here we have night visions. We have all types of stuff. We have goggles, helmets, and, radios, bakalavas, tons of helmets to choose from. So have fun messing around with those. We have a few backpacks. The Soviet team has more backpacks than us. We have some types of clothes. Um, Now, some of these camo pattern shirts are different depending on the country, but they have the same base look to them when you look in the menu. So you just have to skim through them and you'll find the ones you want. And then you have tons of different vests and rigs to go off of. And then you have gloves and then pants. You do have ghillie suits as well. Ghillie suits will be the end of the jackets. And you can see all the special gear we have. We have patches for different types of watches, and we have medical as well. Let me try to actually, before I end the video, let's give it one more attempt to spawn a arsenal. I think if I spawn a whatchamacallit arsenal, I should spawn the equipment. Obviously, we have the Hueys as well and all the default gear, obviously, but I don't have. I just figured you guys already know the default stuff, and I've already done videos on all the default stuff, so. Okay, so weapons are working here, thankfully, but I don't know. Yes, they are the modded ones. So here you can see all the modded guns. You guys can take screenshots as I go through. My personal favorite right now is probably the SR25, which I'm going to show you guys in a second here. It's coming up. But we have M4s, we have MK17s, we have M27s, we have the LA95, which is the British gun. We have Scars, we have MP7s, and we have MX9s. We have the new SIG guns. We have, small. We have 14.5 inch barrels. We have 13 point something barrel for M4s, and then we even have some 18-inch barrels. And obviously, you guys can see here we have some 10-inch M4 barrels. These are going to be your CQB, 300 blackout HKs and M4s. Tons of cool guns here. If we go back here to 22, right here is the SR25. This is gun I've been enjoying a lot recently. Sniper rifles, you have MK14, you have the G28s. The SR25 can also be a sniper rifle, but it's in the AR category, but you can use it as a sniper rifle. In real life, that's what its intention is, used as a marksman rifle. Then you have MK14, you have the interventions, and you have the Ferret 50 cal, which I have not yet used, so I might put that on and try that out after this video is out. LMGs, you have the 249 Sols and M60s like normal, but you also have M240 Bravos as well, which is really nice. You also have the new Sols, the MK48 medium machine gun, and as well as the M249 Sol. I think this one has the ability of attachment, so pretty cool. Rocket launchers, you have Stingers, you have heat-seeking rocket launchers, you have all types of cool stuff there. You also have some M79s as well as M320s. Pistols, you have the Beretta, Glocks, you have SIGs, and you have Desert Eagle and 1911s. Obviously, all the ammo types, attachments, you have tons and tons of attachments. If you're looking for a good attachment for the SR25, this scope right here is fantastic. Um, Tons of optics, suppressors, barrels, grips, flashlights, lasers, tons of stuff to choose from. No pistol attachments quite yet. And then we have the grenades and stuff as well. But yeah, so that is pretty much it for the raw mods. Obviously, they also have everything that's official base. So you have like the mortars, all the more official weapons gear, as well as structures. But you obviously additionally have all the modded stuff, which is super cool. Currently, Raw has 5 servers for Evron. The 5th server is currently Evron, but that is going to be switching to a modded server or a modded map soon. They had a modded map, a Ukrainian map, but apparently that Ukrainian map no longer works, so they had to get rid of it. So we're going to be seeing a lot of a new map soon here in the future. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Later.